You can see the writing on the pavement. Young kids, they're growing up in basements. Online, a whole new generation. I'ma make mine, so you better go take it. Always, they need a new replacement. Decentralized, can't contain it. We're changing lives, yeah, upgrading. Call it suicide of the older generation. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive, and save it. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive.
Good morning! I hope I didn't blow your ears out there. Holy cow. What a fun day of trading so far. I hope you guys all had a long, nice, excellent weekend. Let me turn off all this background music. Hello, hello! Servus! Alfred Zumbring. Good morning, sir. Market heavy up at settlement. You guys notice that? I know all you settlement traders out there are noticing that now, hopefully. Right? Market gets heavy around settlement. Now, one thing to note, right, before we get into settlement here. Here, let's see. Yeah. Before we get into settlement here, or trading, it's important to note that this looks like T+2, right? It's actually Friday's close. We had yesterday's early market close, and so that affects everything. So you gotta recognize, and this is what I talked about in that settlement video that I did. You've got to recognize that when you have the VWAP-based real-time settlement, this is what happens. But was yesterday's close really that important? No, not really. So, you know, yesterday was a shortened day, very low volume. So do we care about it? No, we care about Friday. So you just have to recognize, okay, that line's coming from this T+2 line is really actually the settlement we care about. Is it actually T+2? It is 2 days ago. Did equities trade yesterday? That's the question. No, so it's kind of T+1, right? It's a little, maybe a little confusing, but anyway, it's high volume at the close. That's what we care about. And I am walking faster today, 3 miles an hour rather than the normal 2.2. Hey, good morning, R. Lacey. Anyway, let's see. Do we have everything up here properly? You know, I had market depth historical graph up, painting this morning. Like, you know, usually I only show the bigger liquidity on that thing. And this morning I had it draw a little more. Golly, it slows down my Sierra chart so much. It's ridiculous. It slows everything down. So if you guys are having problems in Sierra chart with performance, you may look at that market depth historical graph, right? Just kind of take it off. Uh-oh. All right, we're on the board. So if you guys are here and just like the video, subscribe, it helps a little bit with the channel. Hey, good morning, Andre. When you have a second, what clues were there to anticipate the reversal post opening? Hold on. Went to a wedding this past weekend. Everyone's sharing videos and pictures and talking about things. It's still exciting times here. Apparently, I'm a little behind on this conversation. That's okay. Oop. All right, let's turn this volume off. A little too distracted here. Still from the festivities of the weekend. What clues were there to anticipate the reversal after the open? What did you see, Andre? Keep doing this. Give me a second. Yeah, no problem. All right, more on the board here. Golly. I was managing a position manually, or I mean stops in place and stuff, but I had the bracket button off. Ay, caramba. Did I miss it? Please don't tell me I missed it. Okay, there we go. In and out for another one. Still having problems in Paradise here with the performance all of a sudden coming back in a bad way. As soon as I get into OBS here, it's not good. And the funny thing is that all systems are a go here. All systems say everything's good. It's just annoying. It's really annoying. All right, Sierra chart. 12%. That's high. That's very high. Oof. That's not good. Why is Sierra chart being such a little laggard? I don't know. Large volume at the bottom of the first few bar after the opening flush. Lots of green notes. So, you're talking the E-mini, right? I would just call your attention to the daily chart. So bring up a daily chart of the E-mini. I'm not going to move mine around this morning too much, mess everything up here, and just bring up a daily chart. Yeah. So look at the swing high there at 40.95. So bouncing just above there, very normal. Shorts wanting to cover out above break even on that swing high. How many people shorted into 40, I don't know, 40.71, right? That whole area. So just a higher time frame, but if you're asking about the low time frame, I think they gave it a shot on a gap down today. Gap and go, and they sold the open aggressively with the big, with the gap essentially above the market a little bit. It just didn't get very far, did it? So I would say the bar right at, let's see if I can. The bar right at 41.0, let's see, 41.04, 41.03 right up to 41.14. That occurred right at 10:10 Eastern. If you look at the pattern preceding that on the 5-minute, that's like an intraday H pattern. And that gives you your first clue. And the fact that it lines up with the daily level of 40.95 to 41.05-ish area, and that, squeezed players always like to squeeze the shorts above the break-even point. It made a lot of sense. Now, the rip and rally from, what was it? So we pull back, or from that point, right? We went straight up for 3-4 bars on the 5-minute. And then we kind of digested and then pushed towards the open around, 11:05. And then we rejected at the open, around the open, right? On the E-mini. And then pulled back to about 41, 41, 16, 17, 18, that area. And then the rip straight up off that 41.20 all the way up to settlement at 41. That surprised the heck out of me. Like that move with that intensity, that really surprised me. Here, hold on. Anyway, looking here at. Yes, Emmanuel, I agree with that. For sure. Very nice consolidations prior to reversals. Although, right now, what are we doing? Are we really consolidating hard? We're probably going 3-4 bars at most, and then whoosh, trying to go in a direction, right? Which is kind of what we just did. Golly, how much of this move did I miss on the micro here? I think I bought right here, and I took off right here instead of, catching this whole reverse. I actually thought, so here's what I thought, right? Thought we were going to go hunt stops below this low, and I thought there was a chance we go fill in these zero prints down here. And then I thought, we'll go reverse into settlement, and then the open 30 seconds right here, opening 30-second VWAP, and then who knows. But I thought, okay, decent risk reward, high probability of success for a scalp from point A to point B. And now we have this move. Shocker. Anyway, it happens. Very nice, Chris. Glad to hear it, man. Thank you for that. I did have a pretty nice weekend. I mean, went to the coast. My brother-in-law got married. Well, he's my brother-in-law now. I guess he's been my brother-in-law for a while. They've been married for a while, but they finally had their I don't know, their ceremony. It was beautiful. But my kid ended up getting a temperature. What was it? What night was it? Friday night, and he spiked to like above 102. Just kept getting worse. So I did some driving for a 24-hour pharmacy a few hours into the night on Friday night, and went and got him taken care of. And he was, oh, thank you, Andre. You are far too kind, my friend. Yeah. And the kid recovered into Friday a little bit, but he was, on Motrin, children's Motrin, and Advil. And that got him through the wedding, which lasted, Saturday, pictures, and into Sunday, even, and then he just kind of got worse because we were, coastal weather. It's a little cold. It was, it's like on the mountainside with the ocean below us. Just a little cold, and he's bundled up, but that's just not good for somebody fighting something. So, ended up having to not stay for all the festivities, and of course we have a 4-month-old, so that's always tricky. You get to pictures on time, but then everybody else is late. But you time her nap to be there on time. So you think you can control the variables, but then you can't control if other people are late. Then by the time they all show up 20, 30 minutes late, she's crying and ready for her nap. And then I got a little guy that's just won't talk to anybody. He's wants me to hold him constantly. He's 4, but he's a big 4-year-old. Not fat, just tall. So it's just a whole thing, man. You can't... It was enjoyable, but you can't really observe and get into it and socialize the way you want to. So anyway, we ended up driving back home early. We were like, let's just get this guy back near his doctor, back home and comfortable, get him in his bed, hotel rooms. All those are nice hotel room. It's just not the same. Not the same. Cook our good home food. We went out and ate at restaurants, and I think we ate something that was disagreeable because me and my wife had upset stomach. It's just, traveling with kids, it could be a little challenging. So anyway, it is what it is. So now I'm here in the markets and cautiously optimistic for the week. Had an all right morning, and now I'm just kind of hanging out here with you guys. Yeah, Trevor, I am happy to be back actually. Yeah, definitely happy to be back, but also want to move to the coast. So we're in an area of California that we don't really like, but being home with kids is always optimal when they're not feeling well. So it's been a festive but busy, tiring with kids weekend. But God, I show hardly anybody watching today, which is fine. It's good, smaller group. What do you guys think here about this market? Coiling up around settlement. So NASDAQ a little bit higher relatively. What do you guys think? I wish. Let's see, Trevor says 16. Yeah, okay, 17. 16, 17, that's what I see. Probably been a rough day for a lot of traders. Not an easy market to play. I only played around edges today. I didn't catch big moves at all. Alfred says, children are like dogs and stock prices. What an interesting combination there. Sometimes far in front of you, and sometimes far behind you. But if you are the center pointing the mean steadily upwards, they will be able to grow well. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Alfred. It's all about positioning, right? You cannot control the variables. That's what I've learned as a parent. You you try to align things as best you can, and that's all you can do. But sometimes, also, the more you try to control, the human beings want freedom. So even little ones will start to see, mommy and daddy are just way too on top of it. It's annoying to me, especially the 4-year-old. So try to be alpha, give him the general guidance, keep him on track, give him a nice disciplined environment where he can thrive on his own. So clearly defined rules. And then, he gets off track, try to get him back on track. But, you know, he's the little train that's got to push himself sometimes. They're like, he's 4 years old, man. Yeah, I'm just talking in generalities. Anyway. Anton, are you short? Anton says, let's see if Sushi Boys will short this straight into hell. Just the big old range right now. Let's see. Overnight high. What, 4180 on the E-mini? Wouldn't be surprised if we go take it out, to be honest. Oh, okay. 4155. I don't know, man. I mean, there are always going to be sellers, Emmanuel, at settlement. Always. Always, always, always. So that's an everyday occurrence. And that's why we like it, is because there's always reactivity in the market, right? Hence why, I got really long for moves around settlement, and they got really short for moves into settlement. And, you play those moves. Hence why these lines are on the chart, right? Give us general guidelines about where lots of volume has transacted in the market prior to these movements, and where we can likely put on risk and have movement, hopefully in our favor. So anyway, you can see that this line here, it's auto-magically painted, which is just to say that it's automatically painted every day, right? It's opening VWAP 30 seconds. So it's this one. And then this is the settlement from Friday. And look, hey, what do you know? We're doing this, all right? Between these two lines, right? Two monsters, the open and settlement. So for us to digest in this area, it's just not shocking to me, because I watch these areas every single day on my chart, every single day. So anyway, Nasdaq holding old settlement, opening VWAP and settlement happen to be the same, but the E-mini is the E-mini is the monster, right? It's the four-headed monster, SPX SPY options, right? ES, all that stuff. It's the it's the big monster. So I always put more weight onto the E-mini. People are like, what leads? I'm like, someone asked that question in one of the live streams last week, I think, or maybe it was the week before. Like, which one leads? I'm like, just depends on. It's really what I actually said was it's the wrong question. It's not about which one leads. It's the Nasdaq is an equity index, and it's more sensitive to the Fat Man G stocks, right? The large market cap tech stocks. So the weighting of the large market caps in the Nasdaq is a little bit higher relative to the SPX. You can go look it up. Just Google Nasdaq or Nasdaq 100 market cap weighting or something like that, and then S&P 500 market cap weighting, and then you can go see what percentage Apple and all these other tech stocks are of the indexes, right? So then you can see, oh wait, hey, that's why the Nasdaq is so sensitive to movements, is because it's got this large concentration of behemoths that really move it. Hence why, for trading the Nasdaq, I have the Thinkorswim, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Tesla, and Nvidia up on my screen. Man, I should dedicate some little portion of the screen, but anyway, I've got that up, so I don't even see OBS right now. Let's see. So I don't even know. Maybe I'm showing something I shouldn't be showing. Let's see. Oh, that's cool, Emmanuel. You're welcome, buddy. I hope it makes you money. Hope it makes you money and you figure out, the idea, the principle is a good one, which is high volume in a short amount of time. Thus, a lot of interest, right? So even from an auction perspective, that's interesting, right? Even if you want to think of it like an auction, right? What are the most interesting times in an auction, right? It's when they're buying and selling, let's say, cars, and the rare Corvette comes up that everybody's there for, and everybody starts going bonkers at a certain price because they're all bidding for it. That tells you something about the interest for the car, right? So, you have a similar item, i.e. price, or the underlying, come back to that price zone. What do you think is going to happen? There's already been a lot of buying and selling there before. From an auction perspective, what do you think is going to happen again? Probably a lot of interest, and it's either going to be to buy away from that area or sell away from that area, right? At some point. So we can see, so far, there's been a lot of interest initially going into settlement, and a lot of interest going into opening VWAP. You're like, but what about this? Yeah, that's the general area too. What about this? Well, came right to this prior area of interest that is highlighted with volume, and we couldn't quite break down. It's also value area high for the session. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, so everybody loves to look at deltas, right? It's the hot thing, right? Delta imbalances, stacked imbalances. It's just kind of meme-ish at this point. But let's peel it back a little bit here, right? Let's demystify delta. Delta is simply buying. It's ask volume minus bid volume, right? So someone, let's say at a tick, someone buys that at that level, then maybe price moves through it, and then someone sells back into that level. And if there is more people buying into that level, right, when we're below that level, then sell into it from when we're above that level, we say it's positive delta there, right? That could either be it's two things. From one side, the sellers, it's a little bit, say, more passive at that level. And from the other side, we could say it's more initiative at that level. But now, okay, let's ask a common sense question. Right? You're on Interactive Brokers. So all you Interactive Brokers peoples out there will be like, oh yeah, I know what he's talking about. And you're like, value for me is within 6 or 7 ticks. What does Interactive Brokers have for order types? Right? It's got a smart algo to try and disguise your buying and selling in a certain region. Right? So what's it going to do? It's going to randomize order size over that area where you want to get filled, trying to give you the most opportunistic price. Right? So you're going to hit, let's say if you want to be long, you're going to get passively filled. You're going to hit the ask sometimes. It doesn't really care about the delta of 1 tick. Right? And this is how a lot of larger players buy that are moving the market. So all you guys that are so focused on a single tick and saying like, oh, my fancy pants indicator tells me so much about the market at this specific level, you're kind of full of ish. You're probably selling something if you're hyper focused on that. You're like, oh, but those deltas are reactive to the tick. Well, again, a la Adam Grimes. If you put a line on the chart, and we demonstrated this, I think, on a live stream. You put a line on a chart, how many times are you going to be able to find support and resistance on your random line? You can go back, and you'll be like, oh, wow, it's amazing how accurate that line was. Confirmation bias, right? Looking back into the past. So you're like, well, are you saying deltas are not important? No, they are. But you know what's really important as price rips up? What's really important are whole areas of absorption like that. All right, you see the delta here? It's just all passive buying. And then once you break general structure, support and resistance, are there initiative traders here? I mean, it's, we're kind of coming back to the same old thing, right? You have basic supply demand, you have support resistance levels, and you kind of can use deltas with your DOM, with your footprint, just to look at, okay, is there like here, you see that? This is what I would call a dragonfly kind of pattern here. Right here. Oops. Positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, right? Negative, some resistance into this zone. Are there people absorbing here and also taking profit? It's a little bit of, this tells you right away that in here, this is a little bit balanced short term. But that's all it tells you is the short term action of the wick. See, there's a wick right here of this candle. It's not very illuminative of the whole direction of the day, guys. And that's, if you're using delta, to scalp, great. If you're using delta to catch a whole humongous move, well, I think you might be better off using general price, support resistance, structures, higher lows, higher highs, that kind of thing. What does the daily structure look like? What does the 30-minute, the hourly structure look like, etc.? Yeah, Alfred, I have done that on Windows. On so Alfred, I'm on Linux. On Linux, if you do the same thing with multiple subinstances, at least for me, I run into problems. So on Windows, I have to distribute the load over multiple instances. So it's a little bit of a pain for me because, yeah, I don't know. A whole, there's a whole, I would have to sidebar myself for a while and talk about that. So, yeah. Thank you that Alfred is 100% right. Jack says, have you tried to run OBS on GPU instead of CPU? No, I have not, Jack. I have never even thought about that. Don't even know how to do it. But now I'm going to Google it when I get a chance. I'm also going to take a quick break here. All this walking has got me interested in taking a little break here. So I'll be right back in about 5 minutes. I'm back. Looks like the market is. I'm gonna slow this. Whole deal down here. treadmill. So 1, 2, and this is number 3, right? Market moving up. Balance here. Nice balance. So what's, I guess the potential breakout is 4180. Or the target is about 4180, which what takes us to, which takes us to overnight highs. Yeah, 4180. TPO chart. We're past 50% on the TPO chart here. You guys don't see the TPO chart. Overnight. Regular trading hours. Let's see. From Monday highs are at 4186. %100% of initial balance is 4180 about. Huh, interesting. $11 Sushi Boys. Who was asking or hoping Sushi Boys? Anton was hoping for Sushi Boys to short it straight to Hades. Anyway, let's see. Let's go look. HZ Meister asks, why does price break through a level with a lot of contracts, like 300 plus, and then immediately it reverses? Wouldn't those aggressive participants be buying or selling at the worst price? So, if price breaks through a specific level, there's a bunch of things happening, right? Number one, there's traders who are saying it's a higher high or a lower low, right? So it's a breakout. Number two, participants who don't want to be on the wrong side of the market are stopping out there. And so if you get into a position by market buying, or you get out of a position by market buying through stops, you are short-term taking the, you're saying number one, get me out at any cost, but number two, get me in at any cost. Therefore, you are getting into the market or out of the market, depending on whether you're stopping out of a position, at the least advantageous position short-term. And so it's kind of like the market oscillates. On high time frames, it also oscillates on very low time frames, right? It's always oscillating, mean reverting all the time. So on high time frames, we say, oh, it's parabolic. It's likely to mean revert. It's just gone too far in too short of a time. And then we all notice it because we're slow human beings, and we go, oh, it's probably going to mean revert. Well, all the algorithms, the high frequency trading algorithms, do the same thing. They go, oh, the price just went 12 ticks in, the blink of an eye, right? And because we're buying and selling, say, 3 or 4 ticks, the ones that bought before are aggressively selling that position at plus 12 ticks. And so price whoosh collapses back on. So the market has participants that are playing almost all time frames. So we notice some of them very well on certain time frames. And we have an idea of why they're doing what they're doing on the time frame that we study the most. But on a very, very, very short time frame, what I just talked about sort of explains some of the shortest time frame. So a market that is in balance will often oscillate more. So a market that is in balance and that is sort of trending will often that is sustainable will often oscillate in such a way as to take out a lot of the weak market participants. So it'll move up, it'll pull back, it'll take out weak market participants, right? The stronger ones will add to positions and then sell on new highs and then buy on higher lows, right? If we're, say, pushing up. And those are the kind of moves that are often most sustainable, right? These straight up and straight down moves are usually met, not always, are usually met with some short-term reversal of some sort, or a reversal on the time frame that they're occurring. Anyway, HC Meister, there's always two sides. You know, there's a buyer and there's their seller. So they ask, why are they filling them? So why are they filling them? Because there's always somebody scalping. There's always somebody scalping shorter time frames. There's always a liquidity provider as well. So there's also folks that have agreed to provide liquidity at every tick. Although on the NASDAQ, they don't always do their job. You know, that's kind of the theory that some people have about the market moving back over areas that don't really get any contract fills. They say, like, these are not just 100% delta prints, but some of them are just like no tick prints, right? Where you like pass over and the market goes and fills those back in. Because I think, you know, and I don't know if this is really true anymore, but there used to be a mandate that most prices be filled. I've heard this, I can't confirm it, that levels need to be filled at each tick, that they're contractually obligated to do so. But I don't know. I take that with a grain of salt. I've seen levels not get filled in a session, so, you know. But from a market or an auction perspective, or even like, you know, from a supply demand perspective, if you get a big volume node, say, let's put something in here. All right. And you get players positioned in here where this is a volume profile here. And, you know, prices are moving in real time like this. Whoop, right? Whoop. Rejects both ends fairly quickly. And then spends a lot of time and then eventually comes up here. And then now there's stops up here, right? And it breaks that level. Of course, you're going to get often players who are wrong saying, get me out at any price. So the price then propels up. Now this hasn't occurred yet. Let's say this hasn't occurred. And what tends to happen is you get a propulsion of price on low volume. Sometimes you get a test and then it keeps going. But you get a propulsion of price on low volumes. The best breakouts just keep going and going and going. And then you come up to an area where maybe, oops, I gotta, hey, yeah, this thing is just not working well today. Anyway, you come up to an area like this. We're now focused on this one here. And then the smarter players start getting out of their position and you get distribution. And what tends to happen is as the dummies hold their position, right, getting too greedy, as price comes back, the dummies that are still, say, long from down in here, as it gets back to their breakout point, they more aggressively sell. And that's what tends to push price back in. And then as it comes through here, smarter players will say, nope, I ain't going to buy quite yet. Yeah, maybe it bounces a little bit like this because shorts, leftover shorts, right? And then it comes in, it gets all the stops from the longs, they get out about break even, or a vast majority, you get a big stop run and then boom, sharp reversal. So the people who bought here get to buy again. The longs propel the dummy longs who don't ever take profit that are holding for YOLO 15 to 1 R drive it back into price, and the market just pops again, and everyone's going, man, why didn't the top of this hold? It's pretty funny. These levels often work like this. But those are some of the dynamics that push the price back into this area. It's all these people who are not taking profit up here, along with the smart money who goes, let's just lock it in. Let's de-risk. And we can always, if this market wants to go higher, we can always reposition. And if they've noticed, there's not a lot of buying interest, or however they're able to measure this market, and maybe get it wrong too. There's not a lot of buying interest here. Well, okay. Let's buy this level again, because we know that there's probably still shorts trapped here. So that becomes the high probability move, right? Buy in volume back in here. And that's why BBWC works, right? BBWC is this idea of markets moving up, and then it distributes, base breakout with consolidation. Here's the consolidation, right? You get a move, and then you get a whoosh, a big breakout. And then, prices do this, come back up, and they go down, The bigger this move, right here, as it comes all the way back up here, that's why this works a lot, right? And you're able to get your scalp from here to here or something. And then all the inverted head and shoulders people come along and go, oh man, left shoulder, right shoulder. Oh yeah, if it just pulls back here, I want to buy it. And then whoosh, new all-time high. And that's viable too. This is the stuff that trends are made of. But it's these short-term little patterns that really, 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 really help us as intraday scalpers to get it, hopefully get it right. Thanks, HZ Meister. He said, pretty good. I would have preferred, that was great, but maybe, it wasn't great. HZ, here's the problem, is I felt like I've explained this so many times that I start to think I'm repeating myself, and I probably am. And so it gets a little challenging not to say the exact same thing the exact same way. Why am I cognizant of that? I don't know. I have some of the same people listening to me. And then I get to listen to myself. And then I start thinking, geez, I sound like my dad or my grandfather or these people who tell the same stories over and over and over. Is that a bad thing? Can be. It can be a little boring to hear the same thing repeated in the same way. But ultimately in the market, that's, we are kind of repeating the same things. Price, volume, time, all these things are just repeated. Aggression. Or lack of it. I mean, we're talking about the same things every single day. Sometimes it's not more complicated than that. As technicians, the highest probability setup is to look at what's already transpired and to try and predict who is wrong at what price level, or who is right at what price level, or to see that price is going up, so buy it, right? There's people who really want to buy. So can you just identify that and go with the trend? And then sometimes you're like, well, yeah, I don't know. That's right, Arnie. Repeating. Arnie says, just like any top athlete, repeating every day, striving for a better you. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I walked out of the office. My kid said, "Daddy, said, are you making it for me?" I'm like, making what? I'm like, he's like, our dessert. Like, I talked to my wife this morning about making her and Ben, which is my 4-year-old, bananas, some peanut butter, and I was going to drizzle some honey over it. I'm not eating today, doing the whole fasting thing, and so he thought that's what I'm coming out of the office for, is to make them their dessert. Kids. Let's see. HC Meister says, what would you say about what's currently going on? We're sitting at the top of the range, right in the middle of a volume node. It's building above where previous sellers loaded up at 41.58. I don't know. I mean, what is happening? So like, what would you say about it? It's boring. It's really boring right now. That's what I would say. Why I'm not trading the E-mini right now, because it's really boring. If it was not boring and everything got really spicy, I would immediately get off stream and go start trading E-mini so I could make more money. You're like, but why won't you do it on stream? Because none of you pay me enough money to do that. Gabriel is right on Twitter. Watch the stops, brother. They hunt your stops. That's true. There's something to sharing all of your positions in real time, trading at the size you want to trade at, with a bunch of people that will just copy trade you. No thanks. None of you traded. None of you can pay me enough money. That's fine. I'm okay with that. So anyway, it's a little boring here, buddy. We have this kind of what I talked about before. We have a range. We have the top here. We have a trend line going from here. Let's lay it out a little bit. Maybe visually what I was talking about. All right, we have a trend line here. We have a balance range up here, right? We like to double balance. Doubling balance gets us to 4180. You look at this volume profile from the overnight. 4180 is the high. Oftentimes we go take out the overnight high. So as we get closer to that, it wouldn't surprise me to go take it out. We're ranging out, building volume at a slightly higher level than the tops over here. Doesn't say anything about the long-term players though. It just says something about the short-term players, right? We're building volume here. We're going higher for now. We've now rotated above settlement, right? So who's profitable now, right? Remember, settlement is a proxy. So right now, if you own a basket full of stocks from Friday, you're happy. You maybe have some extra margin in your account. Was there potentially have your stocks settled? Right, two days after. I'm not too sure about whether Monday counts or not. I really don't know. I actually do not know the answer to that question. But generally speaking, the bulls are a little bit happy above settlement. We have balance, trend line. We're making higher lows. We have the overnight on a TPO chart. 100% extension of initial balance, the first 60 minutes of the open. The cash out or the RTH, regular trading hours. 100% extension is right up here. So that's a nice target. 50% is down here, right? 50% is right at 4160. Oh, right. We're at 50%. But, we didn't reject before 50% of initial balance. We're at it. So, I don't know. It's just you could look at the market. Look at how easily it sells that off through this level, right? You have volume build here, volume build here. Look at how quickly it goes through the level. So whoever is buying here or selling is obviously not slowing it down right now as it goes through that level. Are they shaking out weak hands? Possibly. Possibly. Look, short term, they're buying right at 4160. You see the volume node just get really wide really fast. The auction found interest here at 4160. So, I don't know. It's there's not a lot of momentum in this market. Hence why I don't really want to trade with any kind of size. This is we have to at times point out what the market is doing or is not doing and just say it's okay not to have a strong opinion about the market. It's not about whether my guess will be right or wrong. I could care less if I guess wrong for all of you. I don't give two issues whether I'm wrong or right. What I do care about is managing risk. And so at this time, it's not a great time for me to put on risk, even if the market makes an impulse, because that's all hindsight. I don't think that there's a high probability of me getting it right here. I think if I was going to have any kind of opinion, it'd be higher into 4180, right? But hey, short term, right? If you're watching every tick, trading like a DICK, I guess that rhymes, then it's going down right now. But my opinion would be that it's probably going to go take out highs. Probably. Again, I don't know the future. Not even in a micro position. If I had any kind of commitment, I'd at least have that. You're like, well, what a boring trader you are. You know what my superpower is most of the day? Most of the time? Sitting on my hands. Right? Being the leopard, and I talk about this all the time. Just being a leopard out in the African savannah, hiding in the bushes, waiting for the gazelle to run by, waiting for a good high probability meal. Right? I'm not going for the buffalo, something that's too big for me. I'm not trying to hunt constantly and use all my energy and potentially get ambushed by lions. No, I'm hanging out, sitting on my laurels, conserving my energy, watching for something that just screams high probability. You're like, and you choose to spend that time with us? Yeah, because I get distracted away from wanting to constantly sniff around. If I'm by myself, like, what am I going to be doing? I'm going to be watching YouTube videos, which are great. I did some of that already before I got online. I'm going to be watching educational YouTube videos, and I'm just watching the markets. But if I'm just sitting here watching the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over, without making it, I'm going to drive myself bonkers. And I'm going to want to jump into some sort of activity. Right now, I'm just watching, waiting. And of course, I'm hoping that the market gives me some kind of opportunity. That's it. What's up, Travis G? Oh, Trevor. Trevor says, the people who want you to trade live ES. I've done it before on stream, by the way. You can watch some of my older videos, but would never do the same for you. You know, that's the funny thing about the internet, is that it's easy to criticize everybody else that's doing something, but it's a lot harder. It's like I don't know. Thinking about the wedding ceremony that I attended this weekend, and the it wasn't really a pastor, but just the person that sort of um, did the vow, or I can't think of the right word for that for who, anyway, kind of like the pastor, right? Somebody, whoever did like the orchestrated the vows and just sort of was all that. Very easy to criticize somebody in that position. Very hard to do it yourself in front of hundreds of guests. Like, unless you do that sort of thing, you can't. I don't know. Too easy to be critical of others. Anyway, we don't have to go on and on about that. It's all good. I don't care. If you're doing it on the internet, right? Then you're opening up yourself to criticism, and that's fine. I take it, whatever. It's not a big deal. There's such a thing as when everybody else sees what you're doing and then can criticize it in hindsight, you can also learn from that. Because sometimes people are thinking about things that you aren't thinking about. It's more useful to have people tell you at the hard right edge what you're potentially doing wrong and offer an opinion, and then that way they're culpable for what they're saying. But after, hindsight analysts can also offer some value. You just got to be careful that you're not listening to too many, especially if they're all ishy. Ishy is my word for S-H-I-T. Ishy traders, right? Because everybody can have an opinion, but does that opinion actually hold any value because you're successful, or is it just because you have an opinion and it's not well rationalized? It's like on Discord, the old Discord that we no longer have, or I no longer have. When we had channels for analysis, and when somebody would come in and say, "I think it's doing this," we'd say, "All right, give us your rationale." "I don't know, I just what I think. Can I have an opinion?" I'm like, no, it has to be rationalized. Has to be. Otherwise, everybody has an opinion without rationale. Anyone can have my son can have an opinion. My 4-year-old can have an opinion about which way the market's going, but we don't learn. So I hate when people say, "I think it's going up." I'm like, "Why?" "I don't know. I have a feeling." "Oh. Well, I didn't really learn much from that." "Oh, this is an interesting move now." Now the market's giving us some interesting stuff. Anyway, what's up, Travis G? Jack, I don't like getting into moves that occur on a level for the third, fourth, and fifth time that's just part of a larger rotation. I kind of talk about this a lot, and it's the fact that I'm willing to get in to moves the first or second time, because they typically produce the biggest, sharpest, quickest pullbacks, right? If you look at what happened off settlement earlier, you see how this move comes in, breaks settlement, and then you get 1, 2, 3, 4 bars or 20 minutes, and you get a nice pullback. Now look what happens when we go the second time. We break the highs, slight little pullback, come back up, you break the prior candle structure highs, pull back. You pull back again 25 minutes later. You come back up through it again. Then you finally go pull back to about the same level. See how much messier it is? Now, how many times did you get an opportunity in here, right? 6 or 7 times to short settlement. Or near it. But here you got 20, 25 times in real time to get in, to get out. And you probably got a little nervous as you came in. Here's 10 minutes, right, where you have an opportunity to take a short. And here you have 30 minutes. I mean, yes, you got paid here potentially. But what's the play here? Again, you're coming here for the second major time. You're trying to break for new highs. You're coming back. This would have gotten a lot of players out. They would have seen this as strength. Then you get the second bar here, and then finally a breakdown with no wick. So aggressive selling, and then false breakdown, doesn't quite take out the lows, holds volume node, then back up again. And then into settlement, what? You get a tap right below, another scalp opportunity, but it doesn't go as far. Notice, first one, big, right? Sideways, pullback. Second one, hey, there's your 1 bar pullback. Back up. Right? Pullback. Now sideways. Now test the node here. Back up to settlement. Pullback. Open of the bar is here. Getting tight. Higher lows. Ascending triangle. Breakout. Right? Oh, hindsight analysis is so easy. Balance area takes out balance area high right up here. Now we're sideways, right? I mean, in other words, the idea being 1, 2, this is 3. Now this is what you're rotating above. You're like, yeah, it just gets messier and messier and messier. So I'm a humongous fan of taking these levels on the first times. So here, you're like, well, here, this is what, the first tap of an area? Okay, remember, we have a big, thick yellow line, and so we're biased to want to buy and sell exactly at the line, right? Anytime we put a line, like if you put a line here, here, you're going to want to sell here. It's just the way our brains work, right? Most of us. Because, you know, lines on a chart, right? You're like, you got to define risks somewhere. So, I don't know. Let's go put a line on a chart, right? Right there. Okay. So, you came up, broke above. Now, price is moving. It's opening here in this bar. It came up, came back. What are you going to do? Buy here? Are you going to buy right on this line? Maybe. So what? Are you going to buy right on this settlement line? For what? Some sort of scalp? A lot of people will, and they'll get hurt doing it. So here's what you have to ask yourself if you're using settlement. Has settlement held to the tick today? No, it has not. It's gone above, it's gone below, it's gone a little bit above. Would you expect settlement to hold to the tick here? It wasn't holding to the tick here. Answer is no. So maybe, I don't know. I mean, we're right in the middle of a range. Yeah, you can make a trade. You can make a rationale for a trade in this area so easily. But the fact of the matter is we're just chopping up. And look at volumes. Volumes are really, really terrible at this time of day. And, you know, sushi boys haven't done much. Right here. They sold it a little, but there's just not a lot going on. We're rotating around this Friday settlement. Might even be distribution on a higher time frame. I don't know. But, we haven't had really a whole lot of momentum and volume since, I don't know, 11 a.m. Higher volume here. Higher volume near the open. This was more interesting to trade. Right now, it's not. It's not that interesting. Look at the rotations are just dirty. Wouldn't be surprised to take out this candle low and take out these candle highs right now. It's just how we're moving. To me, what looks like it's occurring here, and I could be wrong, is you get these little volume nodes like this. Someone built a position through here. And it looks to me like they are just covering their position in this area, that they're just rotating inventory short term. So the algos are just going little bonkers here, like 12,000 in this, 11,000 in this, 15,000 here, breaks the range, cover, 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 I don't know, rotate back up, why not? There's now a trend line here. I mean, it's dirty. It's just dirty. I'm happy to sit on hands, analyze markets a little bit, but there's such a thing as chop and just over analyzing, right? Or you can analyze, but just recognize that it's maybe not your time to enter the market. So that's where I'm at. So kind of reticent to just sit here and say, hey, the best move is to go long for the move into 80. I don't know. Maybe it is the most opportunistic right here to go long into 80. That's still my opinion if you want it. My opinion is still that we're going to rotate up into 80 at some point. But so I guess the further we drop, the better the risk reward is for a long back to 80. So if you guys get DMs or emails from this guy, Ardevan, he's been hacked before, or so he says, and he has tried to phish people for passwords and all kinds of stuff on Discord. So I'm just going to warn you guys, be careful. Anyway, he is going to be hidden on this channel. No more voice for Ardevan. He's also blocked on Twitter. You do bad things, you get outed for doing bad things. That's just how it is. Anyway, what else do we have to say here about this market? The NASDAQ structure is a little cleaner, isn't it? A little bit. We have sort of this area here. That's kind of interesting because it was a prior breakout zone, right, where we made these higher lows against this level and then bing, breakout, right? And now we're just kind of gliding back into this zone. So stops below, and on the session, this whole area, maybe right in here, there's a volume node, right? There's people who are positioned from here and people who are positioned from here. So this gets all the stops and then maybe gets some really aggressive buyers here. So maybe a move back up for a scalp on the NASDAQ into 695 maybe? 690? Let's see if we even get the opportunity. But that's one. that's kind of interesting to me. This is also low volume right where we're at. There we go. There we go. Little move back down. Here. Right into 692. All right, we're filled. Oh, negative 3,000 ticks. So the market's selling off here. It's all right. Little 12-point stop. Put on some defined risk. It is all good. So I always say this. It's easy to get 0.8R trades. And 0.8R trade on this is about here. About there. Maybe one more tick higher. Maybe here. Yeah, about there. Let's see. Yeah, about there. If you're right. That caveat. We might be wrong right now. We'll see. Dun, 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 dun. Settlemente gonna break? Yeah, maybe. Let's see. Big ticks to the downside. Again. We have a little liquidity on the NAS now, sitting up at, oh, it was at 96. No longer there. Shane! What's going on, dude? Ba-da-da-da-da. Node building on the E-mini here. Right there. See that? So, is it as big as these yet? No, it's not. But are they covering a little bit of this? Whoever's positioned? Sure they are. They're going to cover into some of your weakness. Doesn't mean price won't continue moving down, but they're going to use this opportunity to cover into some of your weakness. And then we'll see how compensated any bottom shorters get. I think it's going to stop out, so we'll have to cancel this other order. So we'll get ready to do that. And there it is. Okay, cancel the other one. And let's go back in. Oops, no bracket. Dang it. Oh, that's the worst. And we'll have to do quantity 2. All right. There you go. Lose, lose, lose again. Or not. All right. Getting close. Thanks, Shane. Shane, it was good. It was really good. Beautiful. Bride and groom both cried during their vows. I may have shed a few tears. It was beautiful. All the other. You know, I have this song spinning around my head. All the other kids with the pumped up kicks. Getting too comfortable. And thank you for asking, my friend. Da, da, da. Oh, they're gonna take them all out? That's jacked up. Oh boy. Oh boy. Sweet. Bend is awesome. I used to go skiing up at Shasta. Wait, no. Bachelor, sorry. They have the lightest snow up there. What's the name of that? We spent 3 days at Survivor Resort, Central Oregon. I cannot remember the name of the place. It was right on the way to Bachelor. There was these houses. They had these jacuzzis um, located too far from the highway. And these jacuzzis were all outside with huge boulders and rocks, and it would snow, and we'd be out in the jacuzzi. It was a good time growing up. Good times. But I'm glad you had a good weekend, my friend. We're going to lose some more? Yep. More losses. Losing VWAP on the Mini. Seventh. I can't remember. My parents used to pay for all that, Shane. I was a young tyke. I was a young tyke. Justin. Goudreau says some good skiing on Mount Bachelor yesterday for the holiday. Oh, that's cool. My stomping grounds, Justin, were Meadows at Hood. Not really a Timberline guy, but Meadows all day long. Yes, sir. And I used to do night skiing there. Every Sunday night. Oh, White House press briefing happening? Jeez. Did this really lock in? Or try to lock in? That's okay. Jesus. That's okay. We'll just lock it in like this, I guess. Stop is just way too close here. Gotta give it some room. But what if it... Yeah, well. The road to Timberline is treacherous. Yeah, it is. So look at that liquidity up at 58. Oh, you guys can't see it. Never mind. There's liquidity 58 on the NASDAQ here. Let's see. What are they doing on the Mini? Worst spot ever to try and get trail stopped from. Just the worst. Like, why? Well, just is. It just is. You see the what do you call it? Well, the position was way down here now, right? So it does a weird P&L thing because I'm using theoretical average position on the P&L calculation. That's what you do when you want to try and trade around a position. Anyway, back to this live stream here real quick. You know, Shane, I just never liked, and they probably updated it, but Meadows was just more modern. That was the main reason. To be honest, even though I lived up there, I never, not up there, but in Oregon, I never, I only went to Timberline maybe 2 or 3 times, and I just didn't like it. Everything was a little older. Ski lifts just didn't operate quite as well. Meadows, they were always updating. Blah, blah, blah. Let's take a look here. Let's see if we could turn it back into a profitable day for the micros. Let's see. Da, 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 da. About 609 maybe? I don't know. Out there? Hey. Ooh, big ticks. Big ticks. Come on. A little more. There you go. Come on. Gonna get stopped out here? Nope. Yep. All the other. Hey, down 2 points now. Alright, let's go. A little further down. Yeah. Oh, big ticks again. Check it out. Alright, let's get these brackets on. Previous developing POC here. Oh, we're going right to that liquidity. Come get me. There you go. Come on. A little more. Boom. All right. Hot in this office. Hey, no bracket again. Darn it. All right, there we go. A willingness. Eighth, 250 contracts on the NASDAQ now here at 28.75. Let's see how everybody reacts now. Oh, I like this. Let's play. $80, 800, 820, 850. Now 250 more at 33. The other. Now let's see. They have filled. Let's see if they market buy. Let's see if they get aggressive. So that's like 500 contracts now filled on the NASDAQ in short order. Do they fight back here? What is it? Oh yeah, definitely causing a little commotion. If you guys are watching, please like the video. Doesn't cost you anything, and it does help out the YouTube algo for me. I would really appreciate it. I can also see I have about an 8 or 9 second delay here. What an interesting spot. So here on the NAS, some fairly large players positioned here, right there and here. What I thought I would get on the NASDAQ down in this zone is not what I'm getting. So we're going to have to be content with letting one ride. Back up to Settlemente at 680. We'll see. Yeah, right down 1.75%. All right. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Down. Little too late. Hey. Let's take a look here. Breakdown. Seven. Right. And this zone. Weird. There. Should be doing this on the Nasdaq. But true to form, not going to piss away profits in the afternoon. A whole lot of nothing. Yin yang, back and forth. But paying for the coffee. Oops, don't want to do that. Uh, Air conditioners the other day. I think I need about, for this office size, about an 8,000 BTU unit. Da, da, da. So dirty. There we go. No! What's going on? Oh, some absorption down here. Interesting. Some heavy absorption. Ah, boot. No, not even. Even a little higher. There you go. What a weird P&L. I know. Isn't it weird? Above the move. How did I get a entry there? Well, it's not. It's theoretical average price. So like as you lock in your P&L, as you lock it in, you're like, well, I kind of think potentially short term. My opinion is, I don't know, probably going to be wrong, but short term maybe we'll come down into this area, but I'd really like to get short into here. Well, so this is a breakdown zone in here, right? So we definitely, like, you look at the volume here, there's some trap players through here. So you want to kind of be playing against these guys. So we kind of did that a little bit here. A lot of buyers, though, in here. I mean, just a lot. It's just an interesting play. Then you have these big girls, or big boys, that filled here. They've been right, obviously. And they've just been playing like bosses down here, faking everybody out. Now we're about to move into this zone. So, it's about where you want to position, I think, in here. I think. Could be so wrong here. Disciplined wrestle breaking lows of days. Probably dragging on everything else. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. You're like, my timing on that maybe wasn't the best, but I stand by it. Yeah, I got you, man. I feel you. I don't know if the Russell drags everything else down. Might be an indicator of the small caps, but I don't know that it drags anything down. The Russell. Oh, jeez. Really? Is that all I get? Nothing? I get nothing. You can have no contracts. How about that? No contracts for you, Mike. Okay. Da, 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 da. I will happily get distracted right now as I watch every tick and try not to trade like a ick. Here we go. Come on. This structure sets up for take out the stops to the highs. It really does. I mean, almost to the point that you got to do this just because. I mean, and lose more, right? But you'll see. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give it opportunities. So, oops. I'm going to give it opportunities up here. All right, here, into 37. Wait a second. All right, yeah, we're good. Meester Howard. Yeah, man. I don't know. This isn't much size. These are micros, dude. So it's not a lot of size. Um, but you know, M period starting to play closer to the close. Less edge for me. But yeah, that's the idea. What is that guy? Not really. Should be betting more, but bet the appropriate size. My thesis is we're gonna launch to the downside here in the next few bars. We'll see. It's holding up. Meanwhile, I just can't get anything on, which usually does not. Usually means I should just go hit bids, right? Yeah, chaser. Chaser! Rookie! Yeah, well. Okay. Sometimes. Hmm. Can you guys hear the treadmill in the background? I hope not. I hope I got that totally fixed. This office. All right, cool, Raymond. Thank you for that. Tell you guys the truth, I didn't really want to trade today at a certain point. Like I was excited to trade last night and then I did fine and then I just woke up and I was like I don't really want to trade today. I want to trade this week, but not a fill. Really? Well, you know what that means. You're going to get fills higher. That's what it means. You're about to get fills higher is what it means. You're like, but, yeah, that's what I think. Stops above this level. Why not? Let's see. Raise it. What's the level here? Bing. Right above here. Oh, cool. Yeah, it's pretty loud. It's pretty loud. Well, I mean, I guess it's not that loud, like, but it's. I mean, it's loud enough to where I hear it. I've got headphones going and a little bit of music playing, and I can still hear it through all that. So it's good. Glad you guys cannot hear it. Higher lows, higher highs. Come on, springboard it. As I say, come on. Like, really? Now my arrows don't look right here. Here. Now it's let's do this. Here. Make the arrows look more like that. Oh, jeez. Come on. Boy, what a grind. What a grind. They have not hit liquidity yet. There we go. Here comes the stops. Here come the stops. Plus 3,000 ticks. Here come those stops. Brink. Not really. Still not. I mean, I guess we could fill a little bit there, but it's not really anything to write home about yet. Oh, big ticks to the upside. Should have held my original long, huh? Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Hello, Pierrick. What up? What up, home skillet? Alright. Let's see. Now let's see what we got on this. The trend line. Something like so. We'll see. Nothing to write home about yet. Just grinding up on positive ticks. What can we say about the 250 lot buyers down here on the NASDAQ? Right? 250 here, 200 here, or whatever it was. I think it was 250 at each NASDAQ buyers now. Hey, Dirk, quit scalping NASDAQ contracts down here on the lows, buddy. Dirk's like, I took 500 long. Yeah, I know. All right, so about to move up again. All right. Gotta be stops up here. Somewhere. Maybe mine. We'll see. Da-da-da-da. 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 Little Big Bear, what's cracking? Market makers watching the stream. I wish. If I knew market makers were watching my stream, counter trend trading, I'd probably monetize that stuff somehow. I doubt the CME cares about our little 30-person group here. All right. No stops yet? Just slow grinding? Really? Is that how they roll? All right. A little bit of a seller there. More positive ticks up to the upside. Okay. Look at us just keep getting more and more and more. Moving it up. Higher and higher and higher. That was what? Prior DevPoc? It rotated down? And now it's here? Gotta go get stops above. You just. I wish there was some way to Harry Potter this shit, this ish sometimes. Expelliarmus! Market goes down. Yellow whole account. Spectra Patronum! I think I got my kid excited out there. He has a Harry Potter wand. He's totally jumping around. Oh, is the murder algo? Come on now, murder algo's 15 minutes away, buddy. Murder algo. Oh, only 15 minutes away. Okay, gotcha. I gotcha. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. When the last long finally gives up on the trend line, or the last short, I should say, they're like, yeah, let's sell into those bids now. The last short has been slayed. Come on, come bid me, come hit it. Oh, look at him. Nope. Nope. Still not time. Dirk, I need you, buddy. Time to market sell this ish. If you're out there, hit the market sell button. All the way down to 684. And then it's on. Oh, cool. Huh. Hmm. Anyway, couldn't have been more wrong about direction today and how it moved. Couldn't have been more wrong. You guys ever see this guy on YouTube called Liver King? Literally, man, that guy's a beast. Eats raw liver. Little Big Bear says, I love being wrong and still crushing it. Well, I mean, there's wrong on trades, but then there's overall being right. One could argue if you're constantly wrong on direction and then just locking in profits all the time, but leaving your initial stops in, when you're really, really wrong, you're going to get absolutely smashed on your stops. And then you just piss back everything you made. And then some. I don't know. That's what I was saying. Telling my wife, I was like, there's a lot of nutritional benefit to it, but I just noticed these stops. I don't know that I would eat it unless it tasted good, and I don't know that raw liver is gonna taste good, so I don't think I'm gonna even try. Now maybe cooked liver, but I don't know that you can make cooked liver taste good. Oh yeah, there you go. That's right, Little Big Bear. Just be willing to dance with the market. Yeah. Like what does Bruce Lee say? Be like water. Just change. Right into the breakout zone here. I think bad things are going to happen in this position. But whenever I get into a position that's not immediately working out for me, I always think bad things are going to happen. Hedge asks, the bottom of your screen, is that Sierra? It is Sierra. It's all Sierra chart here. Soak the liver in milk overnight. Oh, that's interesting. Pat it down the next day with some kitchen towel. Then fry in garlic butter with some onions. Lovely stuff. Thank you, Gonzo. That does actually sound quite lovely. Here they come to sell them again. 9 half trades. 18 trades. All right. Da 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 da. Stupid market. Why is it stupid? There you go. Because it's not working the way I want it to work. That's why it's dumb. Dumb market. You're supposed to work exactly how I want you to work. Yeah, if only. It's not good. We'll leave one. I don't, I could be wrong on this, but I don't think it's gonna happen. You're like, but Mike, it's just starting to work in your favor. I think it's likely to go up more than it is down. So yeah, maybe the market will make me look like a fool again. Disciplined, the market makers are listening. They're going to take it the other way now that I've capitulated. Foie gras, pate. So let's see, where is this from? Down here, that's a quote board. And then right here, that's my own concoction. I call it a heads-up display. And then down here, that's just text display for studies. So pretty simple stuff, clock. And then the crypto's part of the quote board. That's it. And then I just grabbed different, look at it go my way now. F you. And look at that TTS lock in. Look at that TTS lock. Oh, shoot. That is bad. Don't want that. Huh. Weird. Not weird. It's doing what it's supposed to do. I'm just playing like an uber noob with my stop losses still in play as I manually was closing out here. There you go. All right, let's see. What a bad boy here. Jeez. For the sucker punch. No, I would say beef liver and foie gras not nearly the same. Oh, man. Well, that was the worst position of all time, I think, potentially. All right. Um, Sal. Hey guys, anybody want to tell what T plus 1 and T plus 2 are? Anybody? Oh, wait, hold on. Hey Sal, first time here. Yeah, I was hoping somebody else could explain it much better than I. Take profit 1 and 2, says Super Walnuts. Eh. Da, 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 da. Da, da, da. That's it. So Emmanuel's got it. It's just settlement. T plus 1. So T is settlement plus 1 day. And then T settlement plus 2. Settlement, or 2 days ago settlement, right? So settlement and 2 days. So it's like the look back is just settlement. What a bad trade that was. You know, I thought I was wrong on that trade. I'm like, oh, it's going to go up. See? Short term, I have no freaking clue. Bad trader. Yeah, I do, Sal. I do. Um, However, I don't know that it's really marked correctly. A lot of these I explain on live streams and stuff. And but you're like, do I have a whole video series on just market internals? No, I don't. But have I talked about market internals forever? I have. And I do on all these live streams. Damn it! Esval? What do you mean Esval? What do you mean by Esval? You mean Arval? Maybe? Sal? I don't see Esval very much. So That is a type? Oh, okay. Typo, yes. Okay. Rvol? So svol on my chart has to do with settlement volume. That's all that is. Right here, svol settlement volume. So I'm using ADD, advanced decline. I'm using tick. Hey, look at that. Murder algo. Murder algo. Just killed everybody. Yeah, no worries, Sal. Are we going to go up and get 80 now after all of that on the E-mini? God, that would be hilarious, but I've seen stranger things on the close. I doubt it, but you never know. Watch us break all these levels to the upside here and then just go get 80 at the close. You never know. The close is such a... No, I'm not a fan of Trin. Not really. Trin used to work well. Now there's better things, I think. Oh, let's see. Oh, that middle view? What middle view? Oh, this? Yeah, it's okay. It works. Man, that was probably, to be honest, to create. Since that's part of a whole bigger thing. So it's got like the Dixie underneath it, and Nasdaq, and ES above with ES settlement. Line on close chart. So you can kind of see settlement rotations and stuff, which is pretty useful. That just creating that heads up where it's flashing down there with all of those bars and everything probably took me like 20 to 30 hours because I had to use the creative part of my brain. Because nobody else I had seen had ever done this in Sierra Chart. So that thing took me forever to make. It is Sierra Chart. It is Sierra Chart. And Ticino. Ticino has it now. Because he said someone was asking if he could make the whole TYP thing. So Ticino was like... So, by the way, bonds are... 30-year bonds are just ripping to the downside right now. He had asked, are you okay with me building it? I said, not only am I okay with it, here's how I did it. Take the chart book, man. Clean it up, and then you can go sell it on your level 1. I learned Sierra Chart from Ticino Trader by subscribing to his service, seeing the way he used all the studies. And then my brain slowly started to fire properly with Sierra Chart after looking at his chart books. So I owe him a debt of gratitude. So he's the OG of Sierra Chart. So and if you haven't subscribed to him, it's like I think €4 a month gets you hundreds of chart books, all kinds of chart book maps, style, and spreads, and percent comparison charts for SPY over all the various sectors. He's got all these charts pre-built, and he's just spent an enormous amount of time making them pretty and functional, optimizing them for everybody. So anyway, I highly suggest you guys go subscribe to Ticino Trader for what is it, €4 a month, and then you have like this unlimited amount of charts to download. I mean, how do you not just spend a coffee to go get something that is worth hundreds of dollars? So most of this stuff you pay other people for, $200-300 a month, and then you don't really get to see the full settings. You don't know how to build anything. Blah 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 blah. Ticino's able to make most of that with the out-of-box stuff in Sierra Chart. And he charges €4 a month his level 1 chart book access to get access to all of that. I mean, you guys don't know what you're getting, honestly. And if you're not a fan or you don't have Sierra Chart, in the description I have a link. You can just sign up to Sierra Chart using my description. I don't get paid any money, but Sierra Chart has a referral program that allows some of my usage, when you buy usage time, some like 10% of whatever you buy goes towards covering my usage time. So it's really not much. Let's say you buy a few, I don't know, 30 hours of usage time or a month or something, I get like 10% tacked on to the Sierra Chart license, and that's it. This is not really not a huge benefit, but it's some small thing. So if we all pay it forward, it doesn't cost you anything to do it. So, but anyway, Ticino Trader, subscribe. Yeah, making the move here, making the move to the downside. Yeah, it's insane value, right? We at you, arrow now. It's so irritating. It's so irritating. The market makers. Nah, you know what? Right on the idea, wrong on the execution. I watched a video with FT71 the other day, and Morad's been doing it a long time. I have a lot of respect for that guy. And he's like, you can be right on a lot of ideas and wrong on execution. Most of this game is execution, and I agree with him. I perused videos while on the coast on my phone. Yeah, Ticino's awesome. He is awesome. And just a good old nice person. Kind of like Zip, Atkins Indicators, right? Same thing. Good person, tons of value for very little. Tons and tons of value. Watching this order flow here into the close. Pretty awesome. I'm going to shut up and just watch. Nothing. Everything that you see on my YouTube comes from my own brain. And I've been careful not to use anything that I've learned from Ticino and show people how to build it or anything like that. Undoubtedly, some stuff is kind of similar. Because a lot of the same stuff is just recycled, but I would never, ever, ever, ever use anything that I learned from him directly by, just even having his chart book and then going like, oh, I see how that's done. Boom. Here, let me show everybody how to build it. No, that's not honorable. So, I don't do that. So to answer your question, Sal, nothing. Everything you see up here comes from my own brain. But did I learn Sierra Chart and how to make studies talk to each other by originally subscribing to Ticino Trader? Yes, that is the answer to that is yes, absolutely I did. All right, let's see. Settlemente starting right now. All right. 1, 2, Sorry. Really? Did be dirty like that? Booyah! Got the settlement scalping. Like, how did you do that? Magic, my friends. Magic. Manny, I started using Sierra Chart in 2020, February. So we took, I don't know how many points we just took. Maybe 3 or 4 micros points, something like that. I think maybe 4 points on this scalp, straight up, and then back down to settlement. Oh golly, this office is too hot. I did give one to him, technical trader. I gave my heads up display to him. So anyway, you see the heads up display and how it is telling us here that volume is stupidly high. You know why it's so stupidly high? 115,000 contracts in the last, I don't know, 30 seconds? End of month. This is normal. End of month. So, Yi Honatan Shirel, he asks, what do I use before Sierra Chart? I use Thinkorswim and interactive brokers. And that's it. I've actually thought of doing Thinkorswim like how-to videos because I'm pretty dang proficient on Thinkorswim. Yeah, IB was cool. Thought of doing IB videos as well. But I think Verillo Trading pretty much has that handled. So, and a bunch of other people. I don't know. But TOS, I thought, man, that could be pretty cool to do a really nice TOS. So I've seen a bunch of these TOS videos, but I would say they're all like really elementary, my dear Watson. Anyway, 6 points, $30, 160 now MNQ points. What is that? $324. So $350 today on the micros. So $350 to sit here with you guys today for 2 hours, 40 minutes. So 3 hours, round up, at $300 an hour, $100 an hour to talk to you guys about the markets. So it's not, this is not good. This is not great, but we'll take it. At least I didn't piss away all my profits from the mini contracts that I traded early in the day. And if you want to see what that result looked like, rewind all the way back to the beginning of the video, and then you'll see what I made on the NASDAQ at least, and the E-mini. So anyway, I'm out. I'm going to go hang out with my fam. I hope you guys got a little something today out of the video. I don't know. Was just having a little bit of a tougher time saying super locked in and focused on nonstop education like some days. But you know, that's just how it is, man. The it's tiring to constantly be in teacher mode, trying to break down the markets. Sometimes I just want to hang out, stay quiet, trade, say very little. Educating is tiring. So anyway, we will see you guys another day, and hope you guys all made money and did okay. All right, take it easy. Thanks for stopping in. Please like the video if you haven't already. It does help. And appreciate everybody being here, chatting, yeah, keeping each other company, talking about markets. Have a good one. Ciao.